The Chook is back in his second exciting adventure, Funky Chicken Chooks in Space. Climb aboard for a funky space voyage of epic proportions. Could Funky Chooks' dream on a hot, lazy day turn into a trip to the Great Milky Way? Hang on to your spacesuits and join our feathered hero in his search for intergalactic funkiness. On a warm summer's day, out beyond Humpty Doo, Funky Chicken was dreaming of things he could do. He woke with a start and a brilliant thought of becoming the first ever Chook astronaut. A spectacular voyage he'd make, just in case he had any family living in space. He'd fly around the planets and have a good look to seek out an extraterrestrial Chook. The first thing to do was to warn Bob and Sue of this wonderful trip he was planning to do. Sue was astonished.
But this is absurd. I don't know what gets in the head of that bird. Why would that Chook want to fly out in space? He's part of the family, part of this place.
But the Chook was determined, and Bob, well, he knew Funky Chook's wacky dreaming might even come true. Sure enough, by next morning, the Chook and his friends were building a rocket from old odds and ends, a fuselage made out of wrought iron sheets, a pilot's chair crafted from antique car seats, a porthole created from scrap in the shed, a funky glass helmet to cover his head. All of the junk that was lying around was destined for sure to end up spacebound. A month and 2 days was all that it took to finish that spaceship designed for a Chook. And on a clear dawn, in the middle of May, the rocket took off and the Chook was away! First stop on the way was a planet called Zood. The people who lived there were really quite rude. The Chook asked politely,
"Did you ever see a creature as splendid and brilliant as me?"
The leader, who had a big wart on his head, had a very rude answer. And here's what he said. "We've no time for chickens who think they're unique. Get away from our planet, you feathery freak." So the chicken took off. With a hiss and a roar, he flew that ship faster than ever before. He was in such a hurry to find the next place that something fell off, drifting out into space. The Chook rumbled on to the far land of Fink, a planet that oozed an unbearable stink. He landed the ship with a bit of a bump and sniffed at the air, which smelt like a dump. This place smelt of things you would not want to eat, like stink bombs and fungus and cheese-flavoured feet. The stench was so vile to the nose of a Chook, he decided to leave without taking a look. So the chicken took off with a hiss and a roar. He flew that ship faster than ever before. He was in such a rush to escape from that place that something fell off, drifting out into space. The Chook rattled on to a planet called Grots, where everyone's bottoms were covered in dots. He met with their bum-spotted leader and king, a strange-looking creature with hair like old string. And Funky inquired,
"Did you ever see elegant creatures who look just like me?"
The king said,
"No creature like you lives on Grots. They couldn't live here. Their bums have no dots."
So the chicken took off with a hiss and a roar. He flew that ship faster than ever before. He was in such a hurry to find the next place that something fell off, drifting out into space. He flew the full length of the whole Milky Way. He flew for a year, 7 months and 1 day. He'd nearly lost hope of finding another, a cousin, an uncle, a sister or brother. His very last stop was a planet called Ween, where he had morning tea with the beautiful Queen. She spoke of a place where the feathered folk flew, where animals flourished and the sky was deep blue. To the chicken's delight and excitement that day, she pointed her finger to show him the way. So our chicken took off with a hiss and a roar. He flew that ship faster than ever before, at a speed that no living creature had been. He powered through space in his funky machine. The chook hurtled on in a mad feather dash. Great chunks of the rocket flew off with a crash. And when he touched down with a bit of a clang, the ship fell apart with a very loud bang. Our hero emerged from the wreck and hopped out, with animals everywhere running about. And he knew he was home, out beyond Humpty Doo, back on the farm with his friends, Bob and Sue. The chook was so happy he'd landed on Earth and hugged his old farm friends for all he was worth. It was then that he knew there was no need to roam. His family and friends were all right here at home.